Curling the fingers over to the right-hand side. Use your right hand to hold the wrist. Stretch out to the side. Crawl across to the opposite side. And then return those hands back to the center. Push yourself up on your knees. And do a few rounds of cat and cow on your own. So pressing into the hands, rounding the back. And allowing the belly to fall, the chin and nose to come forward and up. Flowing back into cat, and then into cow. Articulating or moving through your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. The back, come back to neutral, flat back, and slide your right foot to the back of your mat. Lift that right foot off the floor so it's as high as your back. If you still feel very stable, try lifting the opposite left hand off the ground. Stay here in bird dog for 5 breaths. As we return the hand and the foot to the floor, we're going to move that right leg all the way over to the right hand side. And then walk the hands back up that left thigh. Good, arms go out to the side. Lift the left hand now over the head, the right arm on the right leg. We're side bending over into gate pose. Inhale, draw the hand back to the ceiling. So side bend over, flowing over. And then inhale back. So side bend. So again, if you have a sensitive knee, this section has a little bit of kneeling, so you can always kneel on a extra fold on your mat or a blanket. On this last flow to the side, staying here for 5 breaths. Remember, light pressure on the bottom hand, very light as it slides down the seam of the leg, past the knee maybe, towards the ankle. And then return it all the way up. Take that left hand all the way down to the ground. Right hand is up to the ceiling. You look at your thumb. Now this is a nice modified variation of side plank. We take the opportunity here to explore a true side plank. If you have issues with the wrist, you can go down to your forearm, and then you slide that bottom knee out. 2 straight legs and 2 straight arms, potentially eyes to the ceiling. But bring that top hand down so you're in a front plank. And then slowly lower your body all the way down to your mat. Knees, thighs, stomach, and nose. Take a small Sphinx pose 5 times. So elbows on the ground. We're going to inhale, raise the upper chest. And then exhale down. It can also just be similar to breaststroke prep number 1. So inhale, lifting the chest. And exhale, articulating the spine back down. 3 more on your own, following your breathing. And then gently press yourself back into child's pose, where we start this entire sequence again. We start with a few deep breaths just in child's pose. Crawl the fingers forward, draw the tailbone back. Then crawling the fingers over to the right side. Maybe getting a little further in our side bend in the second round. Take it across the opposite side. Then returning through to the center, bringing those hands back under the shoulders, pressing yourself up to kneeling. 5 rounds of flowing cow and cat pose, rounding the back to extending the spine. Helpful to visualize your back like a chain of pearls, as if you're picking up the end of the necklace, and each pearl falling into alignment. Turn out to this last one. Go flat back. And then draw now the left leg to the back of your mat. Raise it off the floor until again it's at the height of your back. If you feel stable, try lifting the opposite hand to challenge your balance. Fingers extending forward, heel drawing backwards. Back is engaged and straight, and so is the core drawn up to the back. Catch yourself so you're not holding your breath, you're exhaling slowly. And as we lower the hand and the foot to the floor, we bring the left foot out to the side. We come up that thigh. Leaving the left hand on the leg, the right arm to your ceiling. Exhale, gate pose, slide over. Inhale, return up. We have 5 of these flowing from side to ceiling. Helps to progress the muscles of the back, letting them open more slowly. And on this number 5, again, we're going to stay over here. We might turn our nose or chin up to the inner elbow. Spot on our ceiling we're looking at. Bottom arm is just melting down the leg, possibly past the knee. Then we return all the way up. This time the hand heads down to the ground and the left hand heads up. There's our first variation in the side plank. Check into how your palm and your hand feel on the floor. Your shoulder and hand and wrist are stable there. Then think about sliding into the full variation of the plank. Turn that top hand down, front plank. Can again be on the forearms as your modification, or if you need to place the knees down, you could as well. We're breathing steadily. Once again, slow chaturanga dantasana, or slow lowering towards the mat. And this time we keep our elbows off the ground. Actually, sorry, bring the hands back by your sides. We'll do breaststroke prep number 2, which is inhale again to rise up. This time hands will press into the legs like locust pose, and then slowly back down. Inhale to lift the chest, press the hands into your thighs. Exhale to lower. Continue 2 more on your own. Keeping the neck nice and long. Beautiful. Then bring those hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to press yourself up into one cobra pose all the way up if you have the flexibility. Opening the chin and the chest. And then slowly melt your way back towards the mat. Lift your hips off the ground and push yourself back to downward facing dog. Our first time this morning, so you might need to pedal the heels, stretch out tight Achilles, calves, or backs of legs. From here, we're going to look forward. Step our right foot to the outside of our right hand and lower back our left knee onto the floor. Again, that pillow or object under the left knee might be helpful. We're going to place the right hand on the right knee, and we're going to lift the left hand off the floor and look up. Inhale to look up, and exhale, fingers and eyes come down. 4 more. Inhale up, and exhale down. Following your breathing. As you come for this last one, tuck your back toes under and rise up into warrior 1. Both hands then come to the ceiling and the back foot can rotate, the heel can press down towards the floor. Open out from warrior 1 to warrior 2. So we turn our belly to the long side of our mat. And we gaze back over that right hand, right knee. Peek at your right knee, see if you can bend it a little deeper. And if your toes disappear from your view, wiggle the left foot back, deepening into that lunge. Again, bring the right elbow down to the front thigh now. Left arm over the head reminds us of our gate pose. So we're going to flow up to warrior 2. And then exhale forward into what's called extended side angle pose. Inhale, flow up. And exhale, come down. 2 more. Last time. Good. Now turn the eyes down to your floor. Try to draw the right hand off of the knee, reaching your fingertips to the inner foot or ground. This is the full version of extended side angle pose. It's quite a deep leg stretch. It's just another way we can get into our side plank. So we're going to look down at the floor. We're going to make sure our palm feels steady. We're going to bring that right foot back into side plank. So we know this part of the sequence well. We hold this for about 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Last breath in. Bring the top hand to the floor. We're back in our front plank, holding there. And then a slow chaturanga dandasana, or a lowering to the mat. For this time, we're going to take our hands under our forehead. For breaststroke prep number 3, our head stays glued to the back of the hands. And again, 5 times, we're going to raise the face and now the elbows off the ground. Inhale up, exhale down. Up and down. Good. Bring those hands back under the shoulders. Take 1 more cobra pose. Inhale, press up. Nice big stretch. Engage the lower belly. From our cobra, we're going to gently push back or lower and then push back into downward facing dog. Take that opportunity again, maybe to stretch out the calves, the backs of the legs, pedaling the heels gently. We're going to step our opposite or our left foot forward now to the outside of the left hand. And immediately place the right knee slowly onto the mat or pillow. Our left hand can remain on the left knee at the front. And 5 times, inhale, reach that right hand to the ceiling. Exhale, eyes and hand lower down. Inhale, we go up and down. On your next, rise up, take those back toes, tuck them under, and rise your entire body off the ground into warrior 1. Once up, the 2 hands come together, your back heel rotates, and you're holding your warrior 1. Lifting the eyes or gaze upwards. Drawing your biceps back by your ears. If your neck is tight, then separate the hands. From warrior 1, let's go to warrior 2. Heel toe the back foot. Gaze down at your front knee. Encourage a deep front left knee bend. Remember here, we did the 5 flows into extended side angle. So left arm coming down, right arm over the head. Inhale to return to warrior 2. And an exhale as you come forward. Flowing again at your own speed with your breathing. On this next one, we're going to stay in extended side angle for a moment. We're going to look at our bottom elbow. We're going to draw that knee over the ankle joint as best as we can. Our back leg is straight. And then we shift our eyes down to the inner ankle or the floor. We start to bring those fingertips down to the ground. It's the full extended side angle pose. We keep trying to deepen the stretch of the legs to bend the front knee and get the palm a little bit flatter. And then take that top arm, draw it all the way up to your ceiling. And then when you're ready, trying to come into side plank. From the eyes, the top hand down, come into front plank. One final time, we're lowering down to chaturanga, down to the floor gently. And our last round here is the full breaststroke. So the arms extending out over the head. They circle around back to the hips as we rise up. And then slide up the sides of our body, back over our head and our face lowers. Inhale to grow up. And exhale to come down. Feet are on the floor always. Flowing with your breathing, doing these big arm circles. Our final one, lifting up. And then returning down. Press yourself back to child's pose. Exactly where we started our practice this morning. Nice deep low back and spine stretch. We have one final peak pose before the end, and that's camel this morning. So we're gonna walk our hands back in and up our thighs so that we're kneeling one last time. I'm gonna do it from the side here so you can see the hands first coming onto the small of the back, tucking the toes under so your heels are a little bit higher. Then lift your nose and your chin to the ceiling. Now you might just stay like this. Easily modified. If you're feeling a lot more strength in your back and flexibility in the front body, you might be able to slide now your hands over your bum, onto your hamstrings, down to the back of the calves, and then out towards your heels. If that's all too much, just keep the hands on the hamstrings or low back. Eyes, chin, come forward. Slide those legs back. Hands gently back onto the ground in front of you. Doing again one more sequence of cat and cow. Rounding the back. And then allowing the belly to fall. Very gently draw your bum this last time back to the heels, head melting down to the floor. Expand all 10 fingers. And take a few moments here in child's pose to open your mouth and exhale through an open mouth. Maybe even a sigh sound out. Grow the hands in, press yourself up. Taking both hands over the head, a huge inhale, look up. And then closing our class, hands down.